It's the SFL Nights it's the SFL Nights with A.J Striker, with A.J Striker. It's the SFL Nights it's the SFL Nights with A.J Striker, with A.J Striker on Ashley Jackson.
Well, good morning, everyone. I want to thank Ash for the time to speak to you. Unfortunately, I'll be traveling when Ash is recording, and she graciously allowed me this time to talk to you. She's given me a few questions. I'm going to read the questions to you and then give you the answers as best as I can. How would I rate your player overall for season 16 and why? Well, Crim's the 5. 10 is a finished product. Crim isn't a finished product. You got to remember, Crim started off as almost a base copper. And it's taken him a while to get up to bronze. He's a high bronze now. By week 5, he'll be silver. So then I'd say he goes up to a 7. What I think were the highs and lows for Queen City last season. Lows I can't speak on because I wasn't in the locker room. Highs, well, they beat LA. That had to be a high for them. It was one of their few wins last year. Do you think the lackluster season was the reason for the high turnover, or the organization moving in a different direction, or team build altogether? Let me just say this. Every organization goes through changes. I just think it was Queen City's time. Eric has put together a great staff with Chris, BJ, and our others in our locker room. And we all work together very, very well. Why did I come to QCC? Well, originally I wasn't planning on coming here. I was planning to go back to LA, but they decided they wanted to do some organizational changes. And QCC offered me the director of communications job. The only difference here is I don't handle the stats, but I handle everything else. We have somebody else who will do the stats for us this year. Now, what am I doing? I guess I can answer that in your next question. How will I impact the team on and off the field? We'll start on the field. Hopefully, Crim gets to the quarterback and is able to grow and become that silver player that helps our defense grow. It's team first. Now, front office wise, I'm the director of communications. I handle the team Twitter. I handle the team podcast. I handle team morale. I'm learning to GM under BJ in a training program, which is something. I did all the draft day interviews for us. So I got to know all the players really, really well. And, there's so much more to my thing. I handle the charity initiative for the team, which is something I'm very proud of. What's something I do different or plan to do different with my player this season? I don't plan on changing anything with Crim. Crim was a base copper. He's now a high bronze. Will be silver by week 5. I'm just going to keep growing him the way I've been growing. What a difference between Mexico City, LA, and QCC. Well, let's start with Mexico. Ramos is the heart of that team. He's a man I respect greatly. He took a rookie and molded him into the guy I am now. I have a great deal of respect for him. The locker room was a little quiet. LA wasn't a quiet locker room, but they're a little more businesslike. Not as family-oriented, but very businesslike. We get things done, and we stick to our business. And we have a little fun while doing it. So far, Queen City has been the best of both worlds for me. Eric talks to us, makes sure we're all good. Everybody checks on everybody. Yeah, that's wonderful. And the guys in the front office, they're the tightest bunch of guys you'll ever meet. So right now, so far it's been the best of both worlds. Then she said we could do shout-outs. So instead of doing that, I'm going to talk about our charity, the Mental Health Association of Western New York. We'll be partnering with them this year, and every time QCC does something, it's going to be representing mental health. That's what we're fighting for this year. With the pandemic, mental health is so important. We're not out of the woods by far or any means when it comes to the pandemic. So helping this charity is really important to me. So check out Queen City's Twitter for more information. I'll be posting that as soon as I get final approval from Eric on the tweets. As for other things to look forward to, the first edition of the Crow's Nest will drop on Saturday at 10 a.m. on the QCC YouTube channel. You can check our Twitter for that on Saturday. I'll have a link. And I want to thank Ash for the time, and I want to wish my teammates today a great interview. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. Thanks for the time, Ash.
All right, everybody, I'm sorry to interrupt this Queen City podcast, but I do want to let you know the winner of the SFL Music Battle that I had on Thursday. Great tracks, great song. Loved how everybody put their things together. Pauly J, Lover B came out with some straight bangers. Only one could win though, and that was Espen Rayel, Lover B. And Pauly, you did a great job as well. I don't want you to be discouraged. Both of you had some great tracks. I was so happy that you shared it with the community, shared your talents with the community and the whole world. And I wish you the best of luck on your future endeavors, gentlemen. But congratulations to you, Espen, for doing your thing and for winning it all. If you want more information about us, visit our website at www.simulationfl.net, where you can find information about players, teams, articles, even links to our podcasts like this one, Dave Access Live, or Nelson Manzano's Inside the League. Or we have a few new ones that's come out too, like the Sim Pod with Paul T. Patois and Douglas Brown, as well as Say It With Your Chest with Eddie Gage. A lot of good stuff out here for you to enjoy. But I'm gonna let everything go back to its regular scheduled program. So congratulations, Espen.
One. What is up, SFL Nation? And welcome back to SFL Nights with A.J. Striker. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight or whenever you decided to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. Really appreciate it, y'all. And I have here with me Queen City representing today on the podcast. As I mentioned in previous podcasts, I was worried about a few teams, Queen City being one of them. They had a very high turnover rate this past season. They are one of the cornerstone teams in the league. Well, I think one of the original teams. So I'm just kind of curious to get my guests' input on how they're going to contribute to make things better. Where they saw from their, from where they were, their perception of what happened to Queen City and all of that good stuff. But I have head coach with me, Mr. Chris Comisac. How are you doing, Chris?
Great, Ashley. How are you?
Wonderful. And this is your first time on my show, right?
Oh yeah.
All right.
I don't do a whole lot of podcasts, so.
Well, I feel honored and I appreciate that. I do have some special questions for you, but I'm gonna introduce everybody else first, okay?
Sure.
And
then my boy BJ Loveless, who left us to go help out Queen City, so it's all right.
Hey Jay, what's going on?
Hey man, it's good to see you.
Same.
And
y'all always in my heart in Arizona, man. Y'all always in my heart.
Oh man, we appreciate that. We appreciate it. And then I have Jae Hayden. Oh, BJ is actually the GM for Queen City. So I got, and their linebacker too, going to be one of the best linebackers on the team. I already know. Mr. Pro Bowl.
Hey.
How many times you been in the Pro Bowl?
4 times.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
Gonna make it 5. Gonna make it 5.
Yeah, you probably will. And then I have Jae Hayden with me, DOC, Director of Communications. How are you doing, Jay?
How you doing, Ashley?
He's
Doing
scouting.
wonderful, man. Scouting, excuse me. Director.
Director
All
of
good.
scouting.
It's all good. Yeah, Director of Scouting. How you doing, Ashley?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. Thank y'all for that correction. I thought I saw
No
DOC on your name for some reason. I'm tripping. But
I hope not. If it is, then I need to go change it. No worries.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, Tom couldn't be with us today, but
Gotcha.
he's our
Gotcha.
DOC.
Shout out to Tom Riddle. He's doing a fantastic job as DOC.
As a matter
Absolutely.
of fact, I should have known that already. Y'all gonna be mad because I actually had Tom on the show. He sent me a video to kind of play before I get, play your part. So it'll be interesting to hear his thoughts on the situation as well. So I forgot.
Yeah, he sent us his video to let us know what he said. So yep.
Nice. So he definitely wanted to be here, but I know he had some family duties to attend to, so I definitely get that. But welcome, guys. So Chris, since this is your first time, I have to ask you preliminaries. So
Sure.
what is your age, your hometown, interesting fact about yourself, and your favorite NFL team?
Okay. Age is 51. I'll be 52 in October.
Okay.
Hometown. I grew up in Hamburg, Pennsylvania, which is near Reading. It's halfway between Allentown and Harrisburg. But I live in Duncannon, Pennsylvania now, which is about 25 minutes west of Harrisburg. Interesting thing about myself, I'm a political journalist and columnist, and I write about the Pennsylvania state government. And my favorite football team, I am a diehard and long-suffering, although we did win a Super Bowl, Eagles fan.
Okay, well, you did win a Super Bowl.
Yes,
That's what you can say.
I can die now.
But that is interesting, though, when you said, well, it's interesting that you're an Eagles fan. I definitely understand you representing the team, unlike somebody else I'm seeing over here with a Philadelphia, with the Suns jersey on. What is wrong with you? Oh, okay. So okay. Just making sure. Okay, because BJ is from Chicago, and I'm wondering what is going on here. But but yeah, so you're a political journalist. That is very interesting. So what made you get into that role?
I originally had started working for the Pennsylvania state government, and politics is a difficult game, and I found myself on the outside looking in, but somebody decided they thought I could help their fledgling media company, and so I latched on with them, and it'll be 21 years that I'm with them in October.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's not my dream job, but it's a job that I've had for 2 decades now, so I guess I can't complain.
Exactly, and that's a blessing to have it for 2 decades too. I definitely. So, Jay, what has been up with you since the last time you was on my show, brother? It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a little while. Not a ton has changed other than obviously the colors on the SFL field, but it's pretty much been about the same.
Yeah, because you was over there in Baltimore.
Yeah. Maybe switch, stay within the division, but just a different squad now.
Absolutely. And honestly, I never thought that you would leave.
I hear that a lot. To be honest with you, I never thought I would leave. If I'm being honest, I mean, I've told anybody that would listen that organization there in Baltimore is top notch. It always has been, and they definitely treated me as well as I could have hoped to be treated. I was really and truly, I was spoiled, coming into the league, having been drafted to having been drafted to Baltimore. So it was a blessing for sure to learn as much as I did being there. But I'm truly excited to be wearing the green and black going into the next few seasons. So.
All right, Jay, we're watching you. All right,
Absolutely.
and BJ, what has been going on with you, brother, since you left the desert?
Oh,
Go
man.
to the snow. What's going on?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, I like the snow. So
Yeah,
hey,
yo, you better. You from Chicago? You better.
I like the snow. So it's been going. I'm gonna say I'm having fun, and this group of guys that Eric put together in Queen City has been fun to be with, man. And it's just almost kind of refreshed my love for the league too, man. And it's just been crazy in this offseason.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, sometimes you need a change of scenery. You need to get into something different to kind of refresh your love. I remember Jeremy Vega telling me stepping back from coaching the first time, you know, kind of gave him that second win to do it. So I definitely understand changing things like that. But
I kind of went through that coming from Houston to Arizona too, and going through the different stages and different roles and different teams. As time progresses, you kind of, hey, maybe I want to get back into this. Hey, maybe I want to get out of that. This, that. You do a little bit of that back and forth, you know.
Absolutely. Understandable. All right, guys. So how would you rate your season? So all of you are new to Queen City, but how would you rate your season for season 16 on the teams that you came from for your individual player performances, or just the team overall? And I'll start with you first, Chris.
Well, I played for Fort Worth, and I helped with the game planning at Fort Worth, and we had a pretty darn good season last season, I thought.
Yeah.
Made the playoffs, won our first playoff game. So it was a successful year. Sorry that I couldn't stick around to take us on to bigger and better things this season. But my fullback, I try not to give him the ball too much when I game plan. I'm more of a behind the scenes type of guy. You'll probably see my fullback touch the ball maybe 10-15 times this season, and maybe I'm lying, but
maybe throwing everybody off. I see.
Exactly. So I'm more of the trying to put everybody in the right place and make us successful this season than worrying about what happened last season.
Understood. What about you, Jay?
Well, again, came from Baltimore. Obviously season 15 was phenomenal. It was about as good as we could ask for. But season 16, it's nothing to be ashamed of or anything like that. I mean, we did have a successful season. We were one game away from getting back to the title game and came up short playing against Florida. And in terms of just your individual stuff, I mean, I would say clearly it's a work in progress. I mean, I've transitioned from tight end to a wide receiver now here in Queen City, which was definitely a move I was looking to do from season 16 to season 17. But, even still transitioning to wide receiver, obviously, some of those attributes and things they transfer over and it makes you a more of an asset, more of an impactful player for the team. But it's still a work in progress. It's absolutely still a work in progress. I'm still in the process of trying to build my player up to be someone that's going to be consistently on the field, but deservingly so, consistently on the field. And right now, it's still one of those things where I've got to work on a lot of things in order to get to that point. But again, it's all part of the process, and it's one of the reasons why I do have the appreciation and the and enjoyment and the love truly for for our league, just because of the the engagement that you have just in terms of on the field and off the field stuff, with me, with my player on the field and off the field doing being the director of scouting. For us, it's it really is truly engaged, and it's a challenge, but it's one I'm sure we're all looking forward to.
All right, love it. And BJ.
Ah, man, Arizona, and I'm fighting the urge to pound this table right now with the Denver loss. And you know how that goes.
Yeah.
And really quick, between all three of us, how nuts are we for leaving fledgling upstart teams to come fix someone else's problems? But it's all love with Queen City and Barkley. But coming in as my linebacker pretty much speaks for itself. But just learning what I learned from Eddie and coming from that space in Arizona and how that locker room is, man, I've only been in 3 locker rooms, but man, that locker room speaks for itself. That's why you guys can recruit what y'all recruit over there, man. And it almost seems so easy. Y'all was the first team to lock up all 20 positions this offseason and not have to draft. Good work for y'all. But it's all love with Eddie and those guys. Who knows where my player would be on the field if it wasn't for Eddie Gage and the things he did. So shouts out to Eddie and the Scorpions.
So thank you, man.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that all of you came from teams that were on their way or doing really good to help someone out. So ultimately, why did you decide to go to Queen City and help out? And that's a question for all of you. And I'll start with you first, Jay, this time. Like, what made you pull that trigger to actually say, you know what, I'm leaving, I'm going to Queen City, they need me?
So for me, I guess it's kind of twofold. I guess I'll start with the unselfish part, and then I'll kind of go to the selfish part. Unselfishly speaking, for me, when I looked at what we had in Baltimore, personnel wise, some of the things we were able to do on the field, what our strengths were. And let me preface what I'm about to say by saying this wasn't anything that was communicated to me by TJ or T-Pat or Wiggs or anything like that. This was just kind of an assessment that I had, just observing what we were able to do. And again, just from a personnel standpoint, I looked at what we had and what we could do. And to be honest with you, I kind of felt as though the things that we could do in order to get better, in order to really kind of maximize our roster construction, I felt as though my player was kind of standing in the way as opposed to being an asset. When I look back at the past 2 seasons, again, obviously season 15, I mean, it was a dream come true type season. But when I look at season 15, in terms of just my on field impact for our team, the only game that I really can point to and say, well, I was able to live up to the impact or the standard, I would say, that the other players have, was the championship game. Like that was the one game that I can say, okay, well, I was able to actually do some things that would warrant, me being a part of that awesome team. Everybody, the other 19 players, they held their own, every game, week in, week out. And I didn't necessarily feel like, I was doing that, for us. And I felt like the way that Baltimore would be able to move forward is for me to step away and then to look at maybe, getting another asset in a different position. And, it seems as though they decided to go that route. And I'm very happy for them with getting I believe Jimmy Hazard at running back, who I think is going to be an incredible running back in our league. You know, so and the move of T-Roy obviously going to fullback. You know, so they, you know, I'm very happy with the moves that they made, but I kind of felt like I was standing in the way of them being able to do that. So on the field, I felt like it was time for me to make a move, and I would say unselfishly. Selfishly speaking, I guess it would kind of, you know, somewhat piggyback off of that. I wanted to make an impact. You know, I wanted to make an impact more so on the field and off the field. And I did, you know, scouting stuff for Baltimore, both season 15 and season 16. But I did want more of an important role in terms of, you know, more of a hands-on approach with some of the game planning, more of a hands-on approach in terms of, you know, maybe being the guy that we lean on in terms of saying, hey, you know, we've got to get you to look at, you know, this particular game, this particular week, and having that responsibility and saying, okay, yeah, I got you, I can do it, you know, and having been under that umbrella, you know, to be trained by somebody like, you know, TJ, you know, I've said it before, I was spoiled by that, you know, to be able to be trained by one of the best that we have in our league. To learn from him, and I felt confident in saying, okay, I feel like I can do this. I feel like I could go somewhere that perhaps maybe, you know, they need to either rebuild or build in general, or get their first title, or get, you know, for in our case, get our 5th title, you know. So that it was the challenge more than anything that really was very intriguing. And I think once I got a chance to speak with Eric, and once that conversation from beginning to end, you know, I'm sure the other guys will tell you, Eric has been in the league as long as he has for a reason. I mean, he knows the league inside and out. Eric's awesome. And once I had that conversation, it was almost a foregone conclusion for me that I was going to be in Queen City, you know, season 17, you know, so. But yeah, it was a challenge, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can imagine that. And you pay your money just like everybody else. And if you see that, if you have the desire to be a number 1 or a number 2, if you've been number 3, or if you want to switch positions, you have every right to do that. And in my opinion, I don't think anybody should have, I mean, people are gonna feel, they have the right to feel the way they're gonna feel. But I think knowing that, you know, you want to see people do well. Like even with Jacob McCall, for instance, he was getting balls, you know, he was getting touches, he scored some touchdowns, but he was wide receiver 3, wanted to be 1 and 2. Donnie and James aren't going anywhere, so it's either stay number 3 or move on. So he chose to move on, and we will never be mad at that, you know, because we want him to have the best experience that he can have. So I feel you on that, Jaden. I do. BJ, what about you? Why did you ultimately decide to come to Queen City to help them out?
Off the field, it was just like, all right, because I initially stepped away from the GM role in Houston to come help Eddie get the ground set in Arizona. And of course, he brought you and DJ in as co-GMs. And, you know, y'all running that ship fantastically. And after 3 seasons, I was like, maybe let me just throw my hat in the ring for a GM spot and see how it goes. And did I go into it thinking I was gonna get the position? Probably not. But if I got it, it was a promotion, because I was like, I'm getting the GM itch again, and Ashley's not going anywhere. She's like a 90-time community ambassador, so she's not going anywhere. So it's like, yeah, that position's not open for me in Arizona, so let me just kind of throw the ring in the hat and see where it goes. Just so happened that me and Eric sat on the phone. My interview was like an hour long, and we kind of clicked. I was the first piece to the puzzle. And that's just how it fell. On the field, I was like, well, I'm in the record books for Arizona as far as most pass deflections by a linebacker in the league. So until somebody knocks that down, it'll be there. So, and being under Eddie's defensive scheme since I've been in the league, which was since season 11, I was kind of like, all right, I kind of see where my ceiling is and where my floor is in this scheme of things. So I was like, no offense to Eddie, I love Eddie to death. Eddie's like my brother. I was like, let's see if my ceiling is any higher. Am I risking never ever seeing the playoffs again? Possibly. Possibly. Am I risking it all to get a championship somewhere else? Possible in the long run. Yeah. That was a risk I was willing to take. I mean, Eddie's called me a traitor, but it's all love in the end.
Yeah.
Because I know he didn't want to lose a top tier build linebacker like that.
I will say you did save us a little money though. You did say.
Yeah. I definitely know that, but I know he kind of hurt that he had to lose. Like, yeah. But I was a key to what we got going on here, man. And shout out to Hubba, man. Hubba is the secret, man. That dude. I don't know how many people he didn't talk to, but they respond to him faster than anybody else.
Yeah.
So shout out to Hubble, man. He kind of on the low put everybody together, kind of,
nice.
You know. So shout out to Hubble.
Hubble's a good dude. That was it. That was all you wanted to say about it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Chris? Why did you decide to come to Queen City to help out?
Well, the trigger was kind of pulled for me. I didn't pull the trigger. It was a situation of too many cooks in the kitchen at Fort Worth. And, Jason Williams, Thrilliams is going to do a great job at Fort Worth this season. And unfortunately, I couldn't stay. Luis Nacho at Fort Worth, he contacted Eric because they have history. Both Nacho and Hacker came from Queen City to start Fort Worth, and he must have sung my praises to Eric, because when I got on the phone with Eric, it was a lot of like what the other two guys said, Jae and BJ. It's all of a sudden you're on the phone for an hour with the guy, and you're just like, yeah, I belong here. So it's not that I didn't have other options, but Queen City just felt right, and it seemed like the right option. Eric was great, and I got to meet some of the other guys, and I think it's going to be a great fit.
Absolutely. And so a follow-up question to you, Chris, is how heavily involved were you with the playbooks in Fort Worth?
Heavily.
Okay.
We'll just stick it at that. Heavily.
Okay. Gotcha. So their success pretty much had a lot to do with you. So it is interesting to see how you're going to turn things around in Queen City.
Yeah,
I mean, I know.
I don't. There were a lot of other guys that were involved.
Williams, absolutely.
Well, David Horrell was my partner in crime at Fort Worth. Luis, he took a step back because he was getting ready to get married. So he gave me an opportunity to fill a void. And Steve Hacker, he's great. He took the hands off the reins a little bit. He would offer suggestions, and we tried to all work together as best we could, and it showed. Things worked out pretty well last season. Season didn't end the way I would have liked it to, but hey, somebody's got to lose.
Yeah, you're right. BJ, how has your experience as GM over in Queen City been so far?
It's fun, man. It's hit me with a couple curveballs for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's hit us all with curveballs.
Yeah.
It's with a team that finished 4-8. You're gonna get guys that aren't so sure about why am I still here, or wanting to check out different pastures and things of that nature. So you're going to get a fair different. Once guys move out, the guys have come so familiar with them losing Jeff and Albert, and once guys start moving out, you start kind of seeing their crew or guys that kind of like them kind of move on. So we lost a lot of season 16's roster. So it was kind of like, okay, what direction are we going in now? Finding guys that want to kind of like what we're preaching here with a whole new crew. What, a month before free agency started?
Yeah.
And we're trying to get to learn each other. We're trying to get in contact with players and trying to get them to say, hey, stick around for what we got coming. We got something solid. And they're like, well, free agency's right around the corner. We'll get back to you. And trying to preach that message on a team that was 4-8 that rebuilt everything is hard to do. And we definitely got hit with some curveballs, especially late. But we pulled it together.
So, do you think, and this is a question for everybody, do you think that the lackluster season was the reason for the high turnover, or was the organization kind of moving in a different direction, or a new team build altogether? It kind of sounds like, from your perspective, BJ, that because Queen City went 4-8, kind of pissed a lot of people off, and they just decided to go elsewhere. Am I wrong for making that assumption?
No, not at all. But at the same time, that's probably not the only reason. Mm-hmm. I can attest to a lot of these guys here that we came in to almost no fanfare. It was like, oh, okay, what's up? And it was like, I think morale was just down, and I think that's something Eric wanted to change and get guys in here that were motivated and trying to wake the locker room up and get things going. Because as long as we've been in the league, I've been here, you've been here a while, Ash, and Jay's been here a while, and Chris has been here a while. How much green have you seen in the gym chat over the last, if I'm not mistaken, with the exception of Louisiana, we're the only other green team in this league, right?
Sure.
So how much green have you seen in the chat mostly since you've been here?
Not too many.
When I came into the SFL, Sioux Falls and Queen City were
the quiet ones.
They were the quiet ones. I mean, very competitive. They were competitive as you know what, but it was like, okay, because my nickname for Queen City before I got here was the League of Shadows. They were always in the back. They were always in the background, but they would always recruit really well.
Yeah.
But silently. And I think just over time that kind of aged out. And when it's aggressive as guys like you, girls and guys like you, Chad, Rowland, it's hard to pick up quality people in this league with heavy recruiters like yourself, Chad, and numerous other locker rooms around, because you fall in love with these people. It's a line a mile long to come play for Eddie Games. It's a line a mile long to come play for Jeremy and things of that nature. So, and now Nacho and Hacker are the new kids in town. It's a line a mile long to come play for you. So, getting guys to buy into a new regime and things are changing so much is a little bit harder than it would have been, you know?
Right. I understand that. Chris and Jay, did y'all want to add to that?
No, I think he's right. It's a little bit of both. I think two bad seasons does sour some of the locker room, but it sounds like the locker room was already very quiet, and there was a lot of just people they doing their progressions and checking in and things like that, but not really stepping up to try to rally the troops or even do things off the field or do them really well off the field. So it just sounded like Eric said it's time for a change.
Gotcha. Jay, did you want to add anything to that?
Chris and BJ pretty much hit the nail on the head on that. I mean, you know, if we're being, if we're being honest, you know, if you go to season 16 and let's just say in 99 universes, one of those universes, let's say that just so happens Queen City goes 10-2 last season, you know, as opposed to 4-8. Do I honestly believe that there's that big of a change? Probably not. You know, I think that the on-field success or lack thereof did play a major factor in saying, all right, you know, this what we're doing obviously isn't working. But I think that, you know, like Chris and BJ mentioned before, you know, whenever the on-field stuff isn't going the way that you want it to go, and you also need to work on building the morale of a locker room, you've got a problem, because those two things are probably connected ultimately, you know, in terms of why your output isn't exactly what you planned on it being or what you wanted it to be, you know. So
Understood. And follow-up question for you, Jay. What is the most important aspect of being a scout? Like, for anybody that's looking to get into scouting or anything like that, can you give us what's important to look out for and how much time it takes to be a real good scout?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. I would say, so let me answer it this way. So, and I think I may have somewhat told this story. I'll try to tell it quick this time, but TJ, I believe it may have been week 1 or 2 of season 15. And immediately I knew I was in love with this league, you know, and so I got in contact with TJ and told him, hey man, I want to get more involved. I want to do something other than, you know, no offense to, you know, anybody who just has a player within our league. That's awesome. If that's what you love to do, continue to do it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Enjoy it. But for me, I wanted to be more hands-on. I wanted to do more. And he said, well, we need more scouts. And if that's something that you're interested in doing, you know, let me know. But full disclosure, people who say that they want to do scouting don't know how much work it takes, you know, and they don't know how hard it is. They don't know how much how involved you have to be in order to really and truly scout and scout correctly, not just, you know, say that, yeah, I looked at this game, this is what they did, you know, like to truly scout. And so I gave it a shot. You know, again, was trained by Wiggs, trained by TJ, but I gave it a shot, and I told him, yeah, it's challenging. You know, it's something that in the beginning, it took me, you know, I don't know, maybe 5-6 hours, you know, to try to scout a game. You know, now it doesn't take as long because I kind of know more so what I'm looking for, what I'm looking at, what to expect, what information is necessary to communicate to, you know, to Chris and, you know, to let it be known, hey, this is what I see, and you know, and kind of let him take it from there and decide, okay, well, this is what we need to do then based on that information. But it's dedication, I would say, would be one of the things, you know, dedication and understanding that, yeah, it is going to take some time. One is going to take some time to learn what you're doing, and even after you know what you're doing, it still takes some time, just simply because, you know, you may look at a play, you may look at something and say, okay, well, this looks like X, this looks like, you know, whatever. And once you dig a little bit deeper, you know, as you've seen, I don't know, on some of the behind the scenes football shows on television, you know, where you see the coaches and they have the remote and they're doing the film sessions, and they're playing and rewind. It's a lot of that as well, and ultimately you may end up seeing something different than what you thought you saw initially anyway, you know. So It's work, but to me, it's gratifying whenever you put in that much work and you see, ultimately it play out on the field the way that you wanted it to play out. So
it's probably the most important role week in and week out once the season gets started. So I mean, anybody that wants to do that type of contribute that type of thing to a team, more power to them, because it is difficult. I've done it too, and it's time consuming. But when you get it right, and the team builds the playbook off of what you got right, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm looking forward to. I mean, I'm already working with Jay a lot. I'm looking forward to working with him all season, because I think we're going to do some beautiful things on the field there, Jay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't wait.
Sounds like an episode of Hard Knocks. Does it even still have that?
Right.
Does it still come on?
Yeah, I think so.
Nice.
They're doing Cowboys this year.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure Dion and a few others are going to be happy about that one. All right. So just a couple more questions for you guys. How do you as individuals plan to make an impact on and off the field for Queen City? And whomever wants to start first can answer this.
I'll go first because it'll be quick. If my fullback can catch the ball at all this season, that'll be a contribution. Off the field, coaching, that's gonna be my biggest contribution to Queen City. If I can put together good game plans, working with Jay and others, week in and week out, I'll feel like I've accomplished something this season.
Okay, gotcha. Who's next?
I'll let you.
I guess I'll go. On the field, man, I've done a lot here so far. So just contribute to the team, man. And make that contribution add up to some W's. Week 3. But
that's not going to be easy, BJ. That's not going to be easy.
Oh no, I already know. Contribute to some wins, man, and off the field, man. Just bring the locker room together, and just have fun, man. And we put the pieces to the puzzle. Now they got to go out there and perform in about 8 days now, 7 or 8 days. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. And just keeping retention down and keeping people's hopes up and letting them know that this is a process. We weren't all brought in here overnight to go from 4-8 to 12-0. That would be a beautiful thing.
Okay.
A beautiful
history making.
But it's a process in all of it, man, and just believe in what we got going on. Because we got some things coming.
I see. Okay. What about you, Jay?
On the field, I have no idea. I have no idea. I guess it's just from week to week we'll have to see. We've got Caswell has some weapons he's going to be able to use this season. I mean, it's some of the guys we were able to retain from season 16, but then he's got some more weapons with Chris coming in, and Hub's moving over to tight end too, and us drafting Doug Spelling, who I think is going to have an incredible season. This season we've got a lot of weapons, we've got a lot of talent, and I'm looking forward to seeing what how that plays out. So in terms of just my personal individual impact on the field, I have no idea. It's just going to depend on the week, I'm sure. What we need to do, what we need to look at to in order to put ourselves in the best position to be successful. We'll see what happens. And off the field, it just kind of goes back to the previous answer, I guess, just the work, and obviously, as you can tell, and just speaking with us three, BJ, myself, and Chris, we're looking forward to the work, and to me, that's one of the things that I'm really excited about. And you could tell from the very beginning, one of the things that really, me speaking to Eric, like I said before, was something that really had me ready to sign up with Queen City, but then him bringing on BJ and having conversations with Hubs. Like BJ said before, Hubs is incredible. Like Hubs is really, really good. And I'm so happy that we have him, in our locker room. But and whenever he brought on Chris, to be honest, and I think I've told Chris this before, when he brought Chris on as head coach, I had no clue who Chris was. I had no idea who Chris was. I was like, okay.
That's the way I like it.
And Eric told me, he said, hey man, I've got my head coach. He said, you're gonna love him. I said, all right, cool. So I'm waiting for it, and then it comes out, it says Chris Comisac is going to be the head coach. And I got in contact with him. I said, okay, now who in the world is this guy? Who do you have as the head coach? And once I had a conversation with Chris, immediately I knew, you absolutely chose the right guy. You've got the right guy in Chris, So it's all of us are looking forward to the work. All of us have put in the work, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of that play out on the field.
All right, fantastic, gentlemen, fantastic. And my last question for you all three of you, is ultimately what type of locker room are you trying to create, or I don't know if rebranding is the right term, or just trying to move forward from, and what do you want Queen City to be known for in season 17 ultimately? And I think I'll start with you first, Chris.
Well, I think it's hard to force people to do something, as a team, in the locker room. Yeah. But I think we'd like to get a little more involvement, people chatting it up a little bit. Maybe if we can get guys together and watch games on a weekly basis, that would be great. We tried to do that in Fort Worth. It was a decent number of guys would get together and watch games together. But that's going to just happen organically to some extent. What I'd like the team to be known for is going from one of the worst teams to one of the best teams in one season. That would be great. I'm not saying we won't go 0-12 because I can't predict the future, but I think that we want to be competitive on the field. We want to look like we're going to win a game each week, and hopefully we win those games each week. If not, we're going to lose games together as a team, and we'll make more of an effort the next week, and we're going to keep doing that from season to season. We keep these guys together. That's the key. It's one thing I learned at Fort Worth. Fort Worth only been around for 2 seasons, but they kept the core intact from their first season in the league to their second season in the league. You saw what happened. Yeah. If we can keep the team together, if we can progress and get everybody to buy into what we're doing, even if it's only a 5-7 season this season, if they can see that we're going in the right direction, and that's what I want us to be known for. That we're back. Queen City is back. We're the beasts of the East, not anybody else, and we're coming for everybody.
Okay, I like it. I mean, because you can't take away the fact that you guys have won a championship 4 times. You know what I mean? Nobody has still done that. Yes, you've been through your struggles, but you can't necessarily count out Queen City because, 4 times.
Do it at your peril this year. You do it at your peril.
I love it. BJ?
We like a more active locker room and progress, and it'll get there progressively. That comes with winning. I'm gonna say that out front. And when you're losing, everybody ain't in the best mood.
Yeah, you're right about that.
But when you're winning, and it's also about the environment we create as the front office, because Ashley, me and you, I can speak for me and you, we went from 4-7 to 4-8, 5-6, and etc. So it was like, oh, with the improvement, and then like Chris said, you see it going in the right direction.
Yeah.
So you start seeing more guys show up.
Right.
And they start chatting up in games and being more involved. You see a lot more game chat. Let's go! You know, people just excited to, see it go. As you progress, but you get as the front office, as the GM, as the head coach of DOS, the DOC, you gotta keep that belief in what you're putting on the product you're putting on the table. Mm-hmm. It starts with us as the front office, because this is what we're working. We're working our butts off for free to get Queen City back to the promised land. Mm-hmm. And once we start as leadership, as feeding that mold into the locker room, when you tend to do that, people tend to latch on. Absolutely. It's almost contagious. So it's like, with improvement will come most of that. If you get guys that you're not gonna get 100% chatability. That's not. I don't even think Lone Star is getting that.
Right. I don't think
they're right. So it's like you're gonna get guys that are gonna naturally just progress, enjoy what they enjoy, and keep it moving.
That's it.
And I think with improvement, we'll see a lot more engagement. That's my word of the season. Improvement.
Okay. And so what do you want Queen City to be known for ultimately in season 17? Improvement. Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Jay.
I think the word that sticks out for me is respect. I want every week in, week out from season 17 on. I want whenever the team that is looking at their schedule and they see that they're playing Queen City, they don't have to look at us and say, man, there's no way we're going to win that game. You know, I'd love for that to be the case. But what I do want is for them to look at it and say, God, we've got to play Queen City. You know, like we know that we're going to have to put in maximum effort. We know that we're going to have to, all hands on deck. It's not going to be, a game a week and a half behind, do whatever we do and expect to get a win because we're playing Queen City. Mm-hmm. Myself and Chris, we started in season 15, so this is going to be season 3 for us. So we weren't around, season 1, season 3, season 6, and season 8 whenever Queen City was the best team in the league. 4 times that they won the championships. Now that we're going into season 17, we're talking 9 seasons ago since the last time that Queen City's won a title. So I wasn't around whenever Queen City was at the top of the heat, when they were at the top of the mountain. But and again, it's not to say that, hey, season 17, we're going to be right back there. It's not to say season 18, we're going to be right back there. But what I do want is exactly what BJ said, improvement upon where we were, last season and where we're going to be this season and where we're going to be in season 18. I want teams to, when they see that they're playing us, I want that respect and to know that, we're going to have to come with it. We're going to have to prepare ourselves for battle whenever we play Queen City. And that's truly what I'm looking forward to.
Gotcha. All right, gentlemen. Well, I do feel better, I will say, just talking to you all, knowing where your head's at and how positive you all are about season 17, because I don't like for people to get stuck in that stigma. Okay, yeah, we had a bad season, so it's always going to be like that. No, it's not. Arizona is one of the best teams to look at that, because we were 4 and 8, and like you were saying, BJ, 5 and 7, and want to be in 6 and 6, making it to the playoffs, deep into the playoffs, losing by that much. So, bruh, I know. But I commend all of you for the efforts, for you leaving your teams being unselfish to go and help someone else that really needed it. And I think that is the beauty of this community, is that well, one, we have 1 season contracts, so you can go and explore other options. But I think it's really good of you guys to say, hey, I recognize that they need help, and I'm willing to do that. So kudos to all of you for making that decision. And I do wish y'all the best of luck this season, man.
Really quick, I'll echo something that I'm sure Eric has said to all of us. Mm-hmm. The last 2 seasons, he said he became complacent and kind of let the ship run itself.
Okay.
So this is his comeback. He was like, all right, enough being complacent, and it's time to get back to work. And him putting us together, it was like, all right, I made all these signings of these quality people. Somebody's gonna take notice. If not by who we brought in, by what we're gonna put on the field. So
yeah. And I was often wondering and I wish I had Eric on the show too, but I'm glad that you were able to bring that up. But I was wondering if it was the legend settings, just being in that comfortable position to know that you always been in the playoffs, you always make it, maybe not to the dance, but you were always there. And then when legend settings came on, you tried to do the same things that you were doing, and it didn't necessarily work out. So I don't know if that was a factor, but I think that we all have a season with legend settings under our belt of better understanding. And I think that it's going to be one heck of a season for all of us,
Absolutely.
I agree.
Definitely. So, but gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank y'all for spending a few moments with me to kind of clear the air about some things. I really appreciate it, but I cannot let none of you go without giving you the last word. So that can be a song, that can be a poem, or that can be a simple shout out. Right now, Chris, the floor is yours.
Shout out to Luis and Steven over at Fort Worth. We're coming for you next week.
Oh, shots fired already. All right, what about you, BJ?
Shout out to Eric for bringing us together. Shout out to Chris, Jay, y'all fantastic dudes, man. Those two communications, man, you should see it. It's almost flawless. Like they've always known each other.
Fantastic.
But shout out to Hubba Kimbrell and Tom Riddle, man. Your efforts do not go unwarranted, bro. Y'all do a fantastic job. This offseason would have not gone nearly as smooth as it did without those two. There's not enough credit I can give those two. And yeah, Queen City, I was still on Eddie. He gonna hit me about this when he sees this. Queen City, I love y'all.
We love you too, BJ.
Oh yeah, he gonna get you on that one, but it's all right.
That was perfect. That was perfect.
AJ, what about you, honey?
Like BJ said, definitely shout out to the front office guys. I mean, the work that we've all put in has just been awesome and awe-inspiring for me, honestly, just to see the amount of work that they put in to try to achieve what we're trying to achieve. And definitely shout out to the players, to our locker room. I'm the ones that stuck around. Thank you guys for trusting us. Thank you guys for trusting us and believing in us. And to all the new guys that are coming in, we can't wait to take the field, with you guys. For my family, shout out, because I don't think 3 or 4 times that I've been on your show before, I don't know if I've shout out my family before. So shout out to my wife, Kayla. Shout out to my kids, Ariana, Jordan, and my little one, Sean. And BJ has something for Eddie, so I got something for Eddie too. We're supposed to do a jersey swap in Houston. Mm-hmm. So I just want to make sure that it's known, if y'all beat us week 3, mm-hmm. we're not doing a jersey swap, okay? It ain't happening. As a matter of fact, if I see Eddie's jersey, I'm gonna run over it with my car. Okay, so
hey, at the convention,
somebody needs to get video of that.
Eddie, I'm sitting right next to you, bro. At the convention, I'm looking you in your eye. If we win, I'm looking you in your eyes every time we score.
Every time.
Every time we now, if we lose, and I might be looking down somewhere.
Yeah, you want me looking down? You know I'm gonna be there too, right? Y'all know I'm gonna be there too, right?
Oh, Ashley, you get it too. And best believe your show, I think on the schedule is after our game. So I'm getting in me and Jay getting in the chair.
Have us back.
Oh yeah.
me and Jay sitting down.
First people there.
I'm not scared of none of y'all. I
Mm.
don't care what team you're on. I don't care if you're Baltimore. I don't care if you're Sioux Falls, Lone Star, Queen City. I'm not scared. DJ, we already know you. We already know what you can do. So we're just not gonna throw your way. Okay? First off, you're not gonna get no pass deflections off me, buddy.
It's pass deflections. I need interceptions.
No. I'm a star.
We got him some stick him. We got him some stick him this season, so he's gonna catch some.
That would be funny if I got an interception in the game at the convention. Eddie might lead a room.
Well, you got to think about it, BJ. Like you've already started out on the right foot. Did you get an interception in the All-Star game?
Yes, I did. So
yeah. Okay.
That's the Queen City effect, man.
Hey, well, you can go ahead and get all the interceptions all day, man. I wish you, like I said, I wish y'all the best, just not against us. But I wish you the best the whole season.
I appreciate
Except
it.
week 3. All right. We'll say that.
Baby. And yeah, y'all can definitely come back on the show week 3. I will be sitting at the cabana doing my show where the water is, and I would love to see all 3 of y'all right there for when y'all lose, okay?
No. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. It's been fun. Thank y'all so much. You definitely can come back on the show whenever y'all want to. Mess around and win a 5th title, then it's going to be all about Queen City, So we'll see how that works out for you. But yeah, come back.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ashley.
All right, love.
Thank you, Ashley.
Anytime.